With Vermont's legislative session now over, some Democrats say they're still frustrated over a bill Governor Phil Scott vetoed late last week. It has to do with regulating large AI data centers, should one come to Vermont, and Democrats failed to get enough votes to override his veto. ABC 22's Matt Holderman joins me now live in the studio with more on this and also thoughts from both sides here. Matt?
Yeah, Lauren, that's right. Today I spoke with the chair of the House committee in which this bill originated, and she described this as a strong bill that would have helped Vermont get ahead of the game in a day and age where these large data centers are being built around the country. That said, the governor argued that this bill's impact would have extended beyond those facilities, and some of his fellow Republicans say that Vermonters shouldn't even have to worry about data centers here.
I think that Governor Scott is really out of step with how Vermonters feel about data centers.
Vermont State Rep Kathleen James says she won't be running for re-election later this year. And unfortunately for her, her tenure at the State House ended on a bit of a sour note this past Friday. Governor Phil Scott vetoed a bill that James's committee supported that would regulate AI data centers should one come to Vermont. And when House Democrats tried overriding that veto, they came up just 7 votes short.
Quite frankly, it was a great bill, and I don't really know what Governor Scott was thinking. I think he made a huge mistake.
James and some fellow Democrats, along with a few progressives and independents, say Vermonters are concerned about data centers and the impacts they have on the environment, power grids, and people's electric rates. She says this bill would have guaranteed Act 250 would be triggered by the construction of a data center, and it would have required the leaders of that facility to follow strict water and energy permits so as to not harm nearby communities. But Governor Scott and other Republicans argue that legislation could have impacted facilities beyond data centers, and some of them think it would just be more unnecessary regulation.
We couldn't get an Amazon distribution facility developed here in the state. No large data center is going to come to the state of Vermont.
I have not heard any concerns from constituents about data centers. Instead of focusing on a problem that is never coming, we should focus all of our efforts on a problem Vermonters do face.
After Republicans voted to stop that veto override, Democrats shared their frustration, saying the bill clearly defined data centers and not other facilities, and they called this a missed chance.
Here we had an opportunity to protect Vermont ratepayers from electricity price increases, and we have failed. The hypocrisy will not be lost on Vermonters.
Now, although Representative James won't be back at the State House next year, I asked her if she thinks other lawmakers will draft a similar bill and try doing this again in 2027. She thinks that will absolutely happen, but she hopes that they don't water it down just to avoid another veto. Reporting live in the studio, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.